Hi everybody and welcome back. So Inktober is finally over, and like I said in my previous video, this Inktober was so much harder for me than it was the last time. There were a lot of days where I did not feel up to doing the drawing. I just felt like suddenly in between I also felt that my story wasn't working. Some drawings just was so off, but I did not have the time to do them again. But in spite of all of that, I'm really happy that I got through the project. I finished the project. Of course, I don't like every single image that I did. There are some I hope I can do them again, or I would have done something differently. But the point is that I did a children's book in 31 days with everything, and I'm glad I stuck through the challenge in spite of the bad days, and I got it done. That for me is one of the biggest parts of this challenge. It's not, like I even said in my Inktober survival video, it's not about having a beautiful masterpiece every single day. It's about doing the challenge every day, learning something new from it, and just being able to complete the challenge and doing something outside of your comfort zone. For me, this was totally out of my comfort zone. I don't generally work in watercolors, so the flow of the ink, the paper, everything was a challenge. All right, so I'm gonna just go through all these 31 drawings that I did. A quick note, if you can see, half of them are like fairly flat, the last few aren't. So what I did with these was I kind of put all of these under a set of heavy books, so that kind of helped flatten these out, but these haven't had much time under those books, so they are still kind of wavy, but I think if I leave them under the book for some more time, it should do the trick. All right. So let's start with the cover. This was what I did on the very last day of Inktober. I'm very happy with how it came out. I was hoping to have something really simple, not overcomplicated, kind of give a little bit of the story theme from the cover. I think this is one of my favorite pages. The very first day when I introduced the character, I think it turned out really well. What did happen though was the vermilion ink. I think it was the first day. I was a little scared that it's gonna get super saturated, so I kind of used it very sparingly, and that has kind of dulled out a little bit after a while. I actually really liked how the carrots came out in the foreground here. This was the one where I forgot to use the masking fluid, and I had to go in and then work with white paint and white marker and all of that, but I think it works out in the end. It worked out. I think the first few days, actually, now that I'm looking back, went pretty well, the way I expected them to go. With this one, I feel like he's not kind of this focal point. Like, I feel like we get lost in this and don't really look at him. Maybe I could have drawn him a little bit bigger, but oh well. Peppa kind of looks goofy in this one, but oh well. This also turned out so well. Like, this was also one of those paintings that things kind of went wrong. I was so engrossed in doing this painting that I forgot to keep any space for the actual writing. And then after I finished the whole thing, I realized, oh man, I forgot to do that. But but I think you can still follow the story, so it's not so bad. But I really like how well the contrast is maintained in this one, these two looking up, so this book kind of looks majestic. I'm really happy with that. Also, I think I ended up putting the masking fluid a bit too thick on this one, so it kind of, when I was removing the masking fluid, it ripped the page off a little bit, but it's okay, it doesn't really show that much. When I go through these images every day, it kind of makes me think of what was going on those days, and whether I was up for it. And maybe it's because I am the artist and I know the days I was not having a very good day, so I think it's very obvious to me. But I guess I don't know if you guys can make out the days I wasn't feeling so much up to it into the way it's come out here. I like this one too, especially them. I think Pepper turned out really cute in this one. This was a really hard one for me to do because I wanted it to look like we're looking down on the water in the background and they are like floating up in the bubbles. But it does come across, but I think it's a little confusing too. This one was fun to do. I did so many thumbnails for this one. I was wondering if they should all be in a line, they should all be somewhere lost in the forest, but I'm glad I turned out, I'm glad I selected this one because this kind of shows they were busy doing something in the forest, having fun, and they all kind of suddenly heard some noise and they all popped out from, their own sections. That's kind of what I was going for. This one also I really like this section. I think it turned out really well. I think the pink got kind of overly saturated here, but it still works. All right, that's it. So like I said, there are some pages I wish I would have done differently, but all in all, I'm so happy to have done this project. I'm excited, and also I'm thinking about binding the book. I just am not sure how I'll do it, but that is something I'll consider doing too. All right, thank you guys for being a part of my Inktober journey this whole time and watching my videos while I was inking them, and just supporting me through this whole Inktober challenge. I'm so happy you guys are here, and next video on, we'll be back to talking more about art, my next projects, what is coming up, what I've been up to, and we'll catch up. So thank you guys, and I think you all should be really proud of yourselves for doing the challenge, whether you did something big, whether you did like small projects every day, but if you made it through the 31 drawings and if you kept up with it, I'm so proud of you all, and you guys should be too. So I hope you guys are celebrating, and I will see you all back here very soon. Thank you guys once again, and have a great week. Bye.